When you start out making a new YouTube channel, it's pretty scary, and you really don't know at all if you're going to be successful. It's going to require you to learn a new skill and to put in a fair amount of time, so it's a gamble, honestly. Today, we're going to look at how to increase the likelihood of knowing if you're likely to succeed. And the way you do it is to look at your competitors. Choose YouTube channels in your niche, at least 1 or 2 years old, that have a good number of subscribers, a good number of videos, and a fair amount of views on each of the videos, and a good number of views overall. So channels that meet this criteria are successful channels. The great thing about successful channels is that they leave behind clues. I call these clues variables because these are the different components of a YouTube video that you can change. One way to look at how you become better at making YouTube videos is based upon variables. When we start out in the YouTube game, generally we're quite unaware of the different variables that we can use. As we get more experience, we get better at making videos, we develop a limited awareness of the different variables. Then we go up to the third step. At this point, we're aware of most of the variables, but our problem was we're uncertain which variables or which combination of variables works best in our niche. And finally, the fourth step is we're not only aware of the different variables, but we're quite certain which ones are going to work well in our niche. And when we get to that step, and it could easily take 1 or 2 years, this is where your YouTube channel really starts to take off. So, knowing and using the right variables and the right combination of variables is really going to lead you to success. What we're going to do to increase our odds of being successful is we're going to examine our niche's terrain. We're going to do this by simply choosing 5 or 6 successful videos in our niche. For each of these different videos, we're going to analyze them and fill in this chart. We're going to start by looking at their content area. It's highly possible that all the successful videos have the exact same topic, or there might be 2 or 3 different topics that they might share. Then we look at the content approach. This means, how is the topic approached? Here are a couple different variables. Some YouTube videos are explanation videos. This is where the presenter is going to explain something, teach something, and they might show their face. They might rely upon a lot of B-roll, or they might even use something like text or PowerPoint. Another type is a how-to video, like a cooking video or a yoga video where you show someone exactly how to do it. Then there are demonstration videos where you demonstrate how to fix a leaky pipe or how to help your child do their homework. There's unboxing videos where you take a piece of technology like a new phone and you unbox it and show the viewer how to set it up and give your opinion of the phone. There's motivational videos, and some of these motivational videos focus a lot on success stories. Some videos take the approach of trying to be entertaining or focusing on a lifestyle or be a vlog video. And finally, some types of videos are going to be Q&A videos or even interview videos. Then we move on to the channel angle, and there's 4 different channel angles that we can look at. We can look at the expert. This is the most common one, where the YouTube presenter knows a lot about their topic and they're going to share their knowledge with us. The opposite is the novice. The novice is a new guy starting out, and he's learning as he's going, and he's sharing his journey. He's showing us what he's learned, what pitfalls to avoid, and what things to do. And we can have a channel which has 2 or more YouTubers. They will be a mixture. One of them might be an expert, and the other one might be a novice. And you can really have any type of combination you like. The fourth type is a curator, is simply an interviewer who's going to interview experts or novices in one particular niche and try to learn from their experience. The next thing we can look at is the presentation style. Every presenter has his own style, and we can break it down into these different components. Some presenters show their face, and they're not going to show any B-roll or have much text, but the whole video is going to be showing them. Other presenters show their face, but they also use things like B-roll to add a little bit more variety. Some presenting styles are interview styles where they're interviewing people. Telling stories is another common approach, and there's a couple of different ways we can do it. We can tell a story by using only B-roll, but we don't show our face. The other approach is we show our face, but also add in a little bit of B-roll. And we can also make videos that are faceless. And this is particularly useful for demonstration videos or videos that we want to show using a whiteboard or a PowerPoint. The last thing to consider is the channel type. Overall, there's three main types of channels: an entertainment channel, an educate channel, and a relate channel. Of course, you can combine these 2 or 3 different types of channels to come up with a hybrid variety, but most of the time, your YouTube channel is going to be predominantly one of these type of things. So let's look at an example of some successful channels within a niche. And I've chosen the English as a second language niche because it's a niche I'm very familiar with. So I've chosen 6 different YouTube channels that I consider quite successful in this niche. You can see there's a wide variety in terms of the content area, but when it comes to the way they approach their content, most of them are actually making how-to videos. And when it comes to the channel angle, most of them are taking the angle of an expert. But when it comes to presentation style, things are really varied. There's almost all different types of presentation style imaginable. But when it comes to channel type, again, we can see a trend. Most of them are educate type channels, and that doesn't surprise us at all. The way I can use this to create a channel for myself that's likely to be successful is I can do the same type of analysis on channels which are less successful. What I mean is channels within the niche that are established, but they don't have a lot of subscribers, a lot of views, and maybe they don't even have a lot of videos. I'm looking at what do they have in common. I can see certain things like the channel approach. They're all how-to channels, but our successful channels were also how-to channels. And no surprise, the channel type is predominantly an educate type of video, and similarly, the successful channels were also educate type channels. But here are the differences. This is what separates the less successful channels from the more successful channels. We can see that the less successful channels tend to focus a lot on reading or reading and writing. This tells us that most people who go to YouTube to learn ESL don't come because they're interested in learning reading and writing. They generally want something else. Most of the unsuccessful channels are presented by novices, people sharing their journeys, but it looks like the audience prefers to learn through experts. And the last thing we noticed that the less successful channels have in common is most of them show only the face of the presenter, but they have a limited amount of text and limited or no B-roll at all. It seems like the audience prefers more variety. They want to see the face of the presenter, but they also want a fair amount of text and B-roll. So this gives us a very good map and tells us what clues that we should include in our new YouTube channel that we're forming. Before you jump in and make any more videos or even your first video, watch this to learn a lot of other great tips that will save you months of time.